This activity is for week 1, early number. The activity is for a grade 1 classroom and it's called Skipping Around. The resources you will need for this are 100s charts and counters. So I'd have the children start off by either colouring in, or if you're lucky enough to use these 100s charts, placing the highlighted counters on the 2, and then I would have them count up by 2 each time and place another coloured one on. So they'd start on 2 and then count up 2 to 4 and put a coloured one down, count up another 2 to 6 and put another coloured one down, and so on, and they would start to create this pattern. And we could talk about the patterns that skip counting by 2 brings about on the 100s chart, and I could ask them to predict what the next number was going to be, and they'd hopefully say 28. And I'd also ask them to go down to the 70s row, and I'd ask them to predict which numbers in the whole row would be coloured orange, and hopefully they would predict the 72, 74, 76, 78 and the 80. I'd ask them to grab a counter, and what I'd do, I'd ask them to put it on the number 12, and then I would ask them to add on 6 but skip counting in 2. So they would place the counter from here, and they'd count like this: 2, 4, 6, landing on the 18, as you can see in the photo on the right hand side. If I wanted to introduce odd numbers, so if I wanted to add on an odd number, in the photo down here on the bottom, you can see that instead of adding 6, I've asked them to add 7, so they'll go one more over into that other column, the white column. This provides a good opportunity to talk about odd and even numbers. I could ask them, what patterns do you find in the odd and what patterns do you find in the even numbers? As an extension, I would present them with an addition sum. In this case, it's going to be 22 plus 34. So for those who may be struggling, I would leave on the orange highlighted counters so they could see the patterns. But for those who probably don't need it, I could take them off, as I have done in this photo. So I'd ask them to place the counter on number 22, and I'd ask them to count on 34 using their knowledge of skip counting's 2s, 5s and 10s. So here they're counting on 10, 20, 30, and then they go across in 2s. So they're going 32 and then 34. The reason I've asked them to use a different coloured counter and leave the original one at the starting spot is that so they can actually see where they started, and now they can see where they've finished, and they can hopefully track they can see that their track of how they actually arrived there.